Alright, who's ready to talk about some commander decks? Let's see what's going on. Hello. How's everybody doing? It's Adam from the Press Continue podcast. And today I started a little bit earlier than usual. But I'm going to be going over one of my old commander decks that I haven't played with very often. I usually save this deck for God, my hair is gigantic today. I usually save this deck for people that are new to Magic, but I am playing with Oloro, Ageless Ascetic, whatever that says. I don't even. Everybody knows it as Oloro. That's all it is. But what's funny is I always said it Orolo, like the candy, Rolos, Orolo. I just realized today that it's Oloro. So, using this guy, and it says at the beginning of my upkeep, I gain 2 life, even if it's in the command zone. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card, and each opponent loses 1 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Oloro is in your command zone, you gain 2 life. So this is one of those, one of the first Eminence, I guess you can say Eminence cards, that did something still from your command zone. And I saw this, and life gain is fun, so I built a deck. And I didn't really net deck this at all, so it's more stuff that I made up myself to go with this. So let's get started checking it out, right? So Oloro, like we just said, there he is. Wonderful. So we will put him to the side, as we just explained about that. And as usual, I start by going through the land in the deck. So we are going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, foil, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 planes. So you see, notice I got all full arts. This is one of those decks that I did all full arts on. Also, whenever my wife plays, Ashley, you guys have met her a few times when we played Super Mario Brothers. This is a deck I usually give her because, well, she likes to win, so I give her this deck because it's very hard to beat. So we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 planes. Then we go into swamps. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 swamps. Again with the foil. I got those foils from one of the open houses where I got a bunch of the full art foily lands from that. So I took a bunch of people there, got a bunch of foilies, had a good time with that. Let me make sure the chat line is working. I forgot to check that. It is working. Awesome. Alright. So then we have some... hold on. Make sure everything's working okay. Okay. Then we have some... Uh-oh. Let me just drop everything. Okay, watch this. We only have 1 island. Only 1. The reason why we only have 1 is because there's not a lot of blue cards actually in the deck. So there's 1 island... and then a bunch of dual color lands that give me my blue mana. So we got irrigated farmlands, gives me white or blue, comes into play tapped, but I can cycle it away for 2. We have an Azorius Guildgate, enters battlefield tapped, gives me white or blue. Nice foil card there. We got a Sajiri Refuge. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, I gain a life. Okay, you can't gain enough life in this deck, right? And I get white or blue when I tap it. Port Town. Port Town enters the battlefield. You may reveal a plains or island from your hand. If you don't, Port Town enters the battlefield tapped. Add a white or a blue. Then we go into a black-white land. So we got Scourge Barrens, enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, I gain a life. get white or black. That's foil. Temple of Silence enters the battlefield tapped, lets you scry 1, and you get white or black. Drowned Catacombs enters battlefield tapped unless you control an island or a swamp. You get black or blue from that. Choked Estuary. Choked Estuary enters battlefield. Reveal an island or swamp from your hand. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. You get blue or black. Temple of Deceit. Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield tapped. You scry 1. Gives you blue or black. And Kabira Crossroads enters battlefield tapped. When it enters, you gain 2 life, and it gives you a white. So we'll put that over here by the plains. Of course, good old Command Tower. Can't go wrong with a Command Tower. Taps to give you any color. Arcane Sanctum comes into play tapped, but I get white, blue, or black. Rupture Spire in a foil enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay 1, but you can tap it for any color. Reflecting Pool. Add to your mana pool 1 mana of any type of any land you control can produce. That's a lot of any's in that card. Core Haven. Tap to add 1 colorless. 2 mana. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to target attacking creature. Dealt by target attacking creature this turn. So Core Haven. Core Haven also goes along with my Maze of Ith. Target attacking creature becomes untapped. This creature neither deals nor receives damage as a result of combat. The old Maze of Ith. Volrath's Stronghold. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Pay 2 mana. Put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. I actually have a decent amount of graveyard recursion in this deck, which is kind of strange for Life Gainer. But I play things a little different. High Market. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Sacrifice a creature. You gain 1 life when you tap it. And Vault of the Archangel. Tap to add 1 colorless, or pay 4 mana, and creatures I control gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. Never activated that in a game yet. Really curious to see how that works, because I have done some changes to this deck and then not really played it very much. So that is some of the stuff I've put in there. So that's the basic land. We'll shuffle some of that up real quick. And again, as I always say as I'm going through the deck, if you have any questions, suggestions, comments on what I'm talking about, whatever, talk to me. Let me know what's going on through your heads, because it might already be in there. We just didn't get to it yet, but I always like to hear good suggestions, because I do have some stuff in there where people are like, why is this in there? What are you doing? But I like to, just like you like to listen to me talk about this stuff, I like to hear what you guys think. So doing a little shuffling. If you're new to the stream, shoot us a hello in the chats. So get a little shuffle done there, and move on to the non-creature spells. So again, Oloro is all about gaining life, right? We're going to gain a ton of life off of Oloro. So we'll put Spirit Link in there. For every point of damage target creature does, you gain 1 life. I've used this offensively, but also defensively. When somebody's got that big, huge creature on the table, I will throw a Spirit Link on it. So if they attack me, I don't lose any life. But that is different than Vampiric Link. Enchant creature, whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. So this is, alright. So this can be done in combination with Lifelink, because this is not giving target creature Lifelink. And you cannot have multiple instances of Lifelink. This is saying that for every point of damage it does, you gain 1 life. It's not actually giving it lifelink. So this can double up with a lifelink creature. Always one of those weird wording things, and that's the reason why I put it in there. But again, those can be used on my creatures or defensively and throw it on other people's creatures. Congregate. Nice foil Congregate, right? Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield, and it's an instant. Comes in handy. Blood Tithe for each opponent, or each opponent loses 3 life. You gain life equal to the life lost that way. So again, playing with 3 against 3 other people, I'll gain 9 life. Everybody else loses 3. Siphon Soul. Now, okay, I have the foil Siphon Soul in here because I tried to put a bunch of foil cards in here, but I prefer the one from Legends, which I do have the ones from Legends, and I've always played with them. Always a fun card for multiplayer. But again, I was trying to load this deck up with foils, and that's why I have the foil Siphon Soul. So Siphon Soul deals 2 damage to each other player. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. So again, I gain 6 life off of that, basically. Debt to the Deathless. I have won games many times with this card, and somebody actually gave me the foil version of this, which was pretty awesome. Each opponent loses 2 times X life, and I gain life equal to the life lost this way. So you'll see what I do gaining life later, which makes this a game winner. But I mean, I would do that for like 4 or 5, usually about 4, and each player would lose 8, and I would gain, what is that, 8 times 3, 24, and then everyone would die. So that's always been a fun card. I always like seeing that in my hand. Tainted Sigil. This is I put it in there just because it's a foil card and it's kind of interesting and goes with the deck theme, but I have never used it yet. Sacrifice Tainted Sigil. You gain life equal to the total life lost by all players this turn. Could be a real interesting effect, and it's an artifact that just sits on the board. So, always thought that was an interesting card. Kind of an eye for an eye type card, but real interesting. Words of Worship. These are the worship cards are fun, or the words cards are fun. It says pay 1. The next time you would draw a card this turn, you gain 5 life instead. So instead of drawing, I would gain 5 life. Well, I have quite a few ways to draw, especially if Oloro is on the board. So gaining life, again, using that as damage instead. I will go ahead. Oh, it's actually the next card, Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So again, gaining a ton of life every turn, gaining 2 life no matter what from Oloro. Instead of drawing, I can gain 5 life there. I can be slinging damage all over with Sanguine Bond. Aether Flux Reservoir. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. So first, let me stop there. So that says, I cast my first spell, I gain 1 life. I cast my second spell, I gain 2 life. Cast my third spell, I gain 3 life. So, on and on and on. And then I can pay 50 life, and Aether Flux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. I've spent 150 life and killed everyone before. It has happened a couple times. It has happened to me when other people have played this card. But this is a very, very powerful card. I'm surprised that it's not worth more than it is. Well of Lost Dreams. Kind of feel iffy about this card. But whenever I gain life, I can pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained if you do draw X cards. So it's a good card draw engine. Especially, again, every turn I'm gaining 2 life, so I can pay 2 mana and draw 3 cards a turn. I can fill my hand real quick. So, Angelic Renewal. This has always been a fun card from the beginning. Back in Weatherlight. If it's an enchantment, if any creatures are put into my graveyard from play, you may bury Angelic Renewal and put one of those creatures into play. So if somebody board wipes, I can still have my creature back, or at least one creature back. Somebody goes to kill something, it's like a weird regenerate kind of thing, but it's not regenerating, it's just putting it back on the field. So you do get ETB effects from doing that as well. Just a good card. Necromancy. You may choose to play Necromancy as an instant. If you do, bury it at end of turn. When you play Necromancy, choose target creature card in any graveyard. When Necromancy comes into play, put that creature into play as though it were just played, and Necromancy becomes a creature enchantment that targets the creature. If Necromancy leaves play, bury the creature. So it's basically an animate dead, and it's got some scary art. Finn has always been scared of this card. He's like, why do you put such scary cards in your deck? Well, Necromancy's good, that's why. Palace Siege. If Palace Siege enters the battlefield, choose Khans or Dragons. Khans, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And Dragons, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So I can use it as graveyard recursion, or I can use it to gain life and drain my opponents. Both options are good. Usually I use it as Dragons instead of Khans, but it's there if I need it. Pristine Talisman. Tap to add 1 to my mana pool, and I gain a life. Just many different ways to use that. Hey Harry, what's going on tonight? Going over my Oloro deck. So that you probably haven't seen because I don't play it very much. Soul Ring. Good old Soul Ring. Tap to add 2 mana. Demonic Tutor, of course. Search your library for 1 card and take it into your hand. Reshuffle your library afterwards. So I talk about this every time that Demonic Tutor is out here. I don't know how many times I've played this card just to go get a land. It gets real annoying that I always have to use that to get a land. You know what, Harry? You might have missed my Sunday stream because Sunday I was streaming. I did a special stream for my son because I was in the hospital with him. He is home now, by the way, for those of you that have been watching. He came home yesterday, and he's doing very good. But Demonic Tutor, and so many times I thought it was an instant. Demonic Tutor is a sorcery. So I went to go play it as an instant the other day, and they're like, what the heck are you doing? So, but yeah, I did a special stream on Sunday, getting back to regular streaming now. But I did start this stream a little bit earlier than 9 o'clock than I usually do. So, because I have some other things that I want to do tonight. I want to hang out with my family, trying to enjoy vacation, you know. So this is my wonderful proxy for my Demonic Tutor. This is an instant tutor. Play 1 black, pay 2 life, search your library for a card and put it on top of your library. Shuffle. Hatred. This is a card I have not actually had, again, hit the table, but in a bunch of life-gaining deck, I could see this winning the game real quick. Pay X life, target creature gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn, and it's an instant. So you can attack with a bunch of stuff, pay your life, kill somebody. It can easily, with a Rolo, kill someone with commander damage if you can get a Rolo through. No, Oloro. I can't say it right. I still say it a Rolo. So Hatred, first time I've ever put that card in a deck, but it's definitely powerful. Now we get into creature removal. So we got Old School, Unlimited, Swords of Plowshares. Target creatures removed from the game entirely. Return to owner's deck only when game is over. Creatures controllers gains life equal to... Oh my god. Creatures controller gains life points equal to creature's power. That old wording is always just so awful. So it's an instant kill, and then that player gains some life. Crib swap. Remove target creature from the game. Its controller puts a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling into play. Changeling, of course, makes the creature every type of creature at all times that's on the board. Forsake the Worldly. Exile target artifact or enchantment, but it also has cycling. So if I don't need to get rid of anything, I could still draw a card off of that. Mortify. Destroy target creature or enchantment. A lot of instant removal. Utter End. Exile target non-land permanent. Again, instant removal. Unmake. Remove target creature from the game. Another instant. And then, of course, Mass Destruction. Wrath of God. Bury all creatures. Doesn't get much less direct than that. And Merciless Eviction. Choose one. Exile all artifacts, or exile all creatures, or exile all enchantments, or exile all planeswalkers. So it gives me a little bit of mass removal as well. So I got all that going on, right? So this was the non-creature spells. I know I've been calling these spells, but they're non-creature spells because everything's a spell. So let's shuffle that up. You notice a lot of it is about gaining life and doing stuff with that life gain. Wait till you see the creatures. So again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, at least say hello in the chat, because I do see some new names on there. Like to know you guys are there. Again, always like to hear feedback on my decks. So let me know what's going on with everybody tonight. Or if you like what you're watching, please hit that follow button. I'd like to see that little new follower animation. Appreciate any kind of support you guys want to throw my way in the form of a follow or subscribes or whatever you want to do. Alright, so I got that shuffled up. Now it's time for the fun old creatures, right? So here we go. We got a Campbell Consul of Allocation. Jeez, these words sometimes. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and I gain 2 life. Hate it. How was my vacation? My vacation did not happen. That's how it was. We got, again, that's why I did the Sunday stream, is we got, we left on Thursday for Chicago, and we got to the other side of West Virginia, about to get out of the mountains, which was the part I was wanting to get out of the most, and we got a call from home that my son Drew was not doing very well. My son Drew is disabled, and he was not doing very well, so his nurse called us and was like, you need to turn around because he needs to go to the hospital. So we ended up turning around, coming back home, getting home at about 1 a.m., and, well, he had to go to the hospital. So he just came home yesterday, so yesterday was Monday, so that was how the beginning of my vacation went. Then today, I was going in the basement to plug in my arcade machine to play some arcade games, and none of the power worked. None of the outlets worked. I was working on the electrical all day trying to figure out what the problem was. Couldn't figure it out, so I ended up having to call a electrician out, and they spent about 2 hours totally baffled trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And we finally figured it out, and the nice guy decided not to charge us anything to help out. So that was pretty awesome. But so far, my vacation has been hasn't really been a vacation. It's just been taking care of stuff, taking care of family, and not much fun. So hopefully tomorrow I get to have some fun. Tonight we get to have some fun when I'm done with this. Of course, I have fun hanging out with you guys. But that was vacation. So, woo! Alright, Cliffhaven Vampire. He's a 2/4 flying. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Just 1. Agent of Masks. There's another foil. Again, I told you I put a lot of foils in this deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Drana's Emissary. 2/2 flyer. 2/2 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And if you notice, there's a lot of this slow draining stuff, right? Vizkopa Guildmage. Okay, he's a 2/2. For 3 mana, target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. And then for 3 mana, whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. That's mainly what he's in there for. You want to say hi? Just say hi. Say it louder.
Hi.
Ashley walked in for a minute. You guys can say hi. Just say hi.
Yo.
It's
Peace out, we're out.
terrible. Defiant Bloodlord. 4/5 flyer. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So again, Sanguine Bond on a creature. Underworld Coinsmith. I don't know why this is in there because I don't have as many enchantments as I used to have. But Constellation. Whenever Underworld Coinsmith or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. I can pay a white and a black, and I pay 1 life. Each opponent loses a life. So I guess I can tap a bunch of mana and drain all my opponents that way. I mean, that's good. Plus he's a 2/2 for 2 mana. So it's kind of good because I did need some cheapy creatures in here because there's a lot of high casting cost stuff just to get defense out early. And he has neat ability. I don't know. I feel alright about it. Wall of Reverence. Defender and flying 1/6. At the end of your turn, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature I control. Again, life gaining, having a lot of life, and blowing it to do other random stuff. Soul's Attendant. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life. Good stuff. Hey, what's up, Slicer? I am playing a black and white and blue deck tonight, so good to see my little mana symbols there for my subscriber. Shattered Angels. A 3/3 flyer. When a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you may gain 3 life. So who's not going to play a land every turn? Gain a bunch of life off that guy too. Soul Warden. It's a foil Soul Warden. This foil is actually really nice too. The way that the foil is, it like lights up all these little parts around her. Looks like she's glowing. It's a really good foil. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, I gain a life. Just like Soul's Attendant. Good old Bottle Gnomes. Going old school. Sacrifice Bottle Gnomes, gain 3 life. So that's a good cheap blocker. Block, sacrifice them, gain 3 life. It's and it's a foil. So love the old Bottle Gnomes. We used to play with those all the time. Suture Priest. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain a life. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life. Again, it's May. So, for once, not me. What are you talking about, Harry? What's not you? But Suture Priest, remember, it's a May, so you have to remember your triggers when you got a Suture Priest out there. Cathedral Sanctifier. When he comes into play, I gain 3 life. He's a 1/1 for 1. Again, I kind of saw it as a 1 mana, gain 3 life, and get a blocker. He's foil as well. And there's probably better stuff now to put in there for 1 mana, but I haven't edited this deck for a while. And again, he's got to be one of my quick, cheap guys to put in there, so he's good. Then we get into my Extort cards. Extort is a pretty cool mechanic, and I like playing with it. Extort, whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. Okay? Tap it, pay 2 life, remove a counter from target non-land permanent. So this guy is in here besides Extort. Who's not going to play a land each turn? It's going to be you, Harry. That's true. Last time I played with you, you got totally mana hosed. You were playing land, but it was all mountains. Because somebody had Magus of the Moon? Magus of the Moon, I think it was. But this guy, Thrall Parasite, is mainly in there for me to deal with Planeswalkers. I know it's only 1 card to deal with Planeswalkers, but the Extort is a bonus as well. Tithe Drinker, a 2/1 lifelink with Extort. Cryptghast, again with Extort, but when you tap a swamp for mana, add 1 black to your mana pool. In addition, so it makes all swamps make 2 black. Good mana boost for all the mana heavy stuff I got in here. Okay, here's some of my mass removal. Magetta the Lion. Okay, whatever. 4 mana, tap them. Discard 2 cards from your hand, destroy all creatures except for Magetta the Lion. Those creatures can't be regenerated. So he is, as long as I have 2 cards in my hand, he's a wrath that doesn't kill him. A repeatable wrath. So I don't know why more people don't use this guy. Granted, he is a target when he comes out, but excellent card. Of course, behind that is a False Prophet, one of my pre-release False Prophets. When False Prophet is put into a graveyard from play, remove all creatures from the game. So when he dies, exile everything. Gets around all that indestructible garbage. Ravos Soul Tender, 2/2 flyer. Other creatures I control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. He also has Partner, so he can be a partner commander. Of course, I'm not playing him that way. But again, this is my... I just showed you some board wipe stuff, so this is my bring it back from the graveyard. Academy Rector. When Academy Rector is put into a graveyard from play, you may remove Academy Rector from the game. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card, put that card into play, then shuffle your library. This is mainly in there to go get Sanguine Bond, or that word of... what was that word that I said? Word of Worship. So again, Word of Worship. There it is. Mistmoon Griffin. It's a 2/2 flyer. If Mistmoon Griffin is put into any graveyard from play, remove him from game, then put the top creature card from your graveyard into play. So again, this is if there's a board wipe for some reason. I choose graveyard order and put which one of those I want back on the field. Karmic Guide. He's a flying protection from black with Echo, which Echo means you have to pay his casting cost again when he on your next upkeep. Sorry. When Karmic Guide comes into play, choose target creature card in your graveyard and put it into play. So again, gives you ETB effects from that creature, that next creature coming into play. Ailey Eternal Pilgrim. It's a 2/3 Death Touch. I always like Death Touch. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature. I gain life equal to that sacrificed creature's toughness. Or you could pay 3 mana, sacrifice another creature. Exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only if you have at least 10 more life than your starting total. Well, I always will, except for the first couple of turns. So I have that option to exile stuff or gain life. So all good stuff from that guy. Ashen Rider. Again, here comes the high mana cost stuff. 5/5 flyer. When Ashen Rider enters the battlefield or dies, exile target permanent. So when it enters, you exile permanent. When it dies, you exile a permanent. Again, a lot of exile stuff going on in this deck because I did not want to deal with indestructibles or graveyard recursion or any of that kind of mess. Blinding Angel. This I got in a pack foil, which I think really works to the name of being a Blinding Angel. But it's a 2/4 flyer. Whenever Blinding Angel deals combat damage to a player, that player skips his or her next combat phase. So you can stop someone from attacking you every single turn, especially if it's in a 2-player game. You're shutting them down from doing attacks forever there. So as long as you can get through with the flyer. Cloud Blazer, one of the few blue spells. If you notice, there's been like nothing blue, right? So Cloud Blazer, it's a 2/2 flyer, but when he enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life and I draw 2 cards. Because I need to be able to draw cards. Magister Sphinx, again one of the second blue card. A 5/5 flyer. When Magister Sphinx comes into play, target player's life total becomes 10. So good. This is why I want to make a Sphinx deck, because the Sphinx do such crazy stuff. One of these days I'm going to make a Sphinx commander deck, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be weird, but it's going to be awesome. Crested Sunmare. Here's one of the horses. Other horses you control have indestructible. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. Well, again, every turn, because of Oloro, no matter what, I am gaining 2 life. So every turn that this is out, I am getting another 5/5 horse that's indestructible. Awesome. Baleful Force. Again, I need card draw, right? At the beginning of each upkeep, you draw a card and you lose a life. Losing 1 life is not a big deal for me, because either way, I'm still gaining 1 life every turn. And he's a 7/7. Felidar Sovereign. Vigilance Lifelink for 6. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. I think I have played this card 5 times and won the game none times because of him. Because he becomes the target instantly. And then here we go. Serra Avatar. Serra Avatar has power and toughness equal to your life total. When Serra Avatar is put in the graveyard, shuffle Serra Avatar back into your library. So this thing, again, I mean, you start at 40 life, so no matter what, he's going to be a 40/40. But by the time I'm on turn 7, I'm at least over 100 life. So this is 100/100 hitting the board. And attacking people with an 100/100. I'm going to kill anything else that's out there. And it's going to be massive. So I had that teamed up before with a couple other cards. I had, I think it was Angelic something that said that when a creature came into play, I gained life equal to its power. So I would play that card, and if I had 100 life, it would put me at 200 life, and then I have a 200 on the board. So that was some interesting stuff, but that was something that I took out to make rooms for some other stuff. I had some interesting combinations in there. Actually, I might put that card back in there, but it was a 5 mana enchantment, and usually by the time it was that far into the game, I was needing to play other things to protect myself, like creatures. So I think that's why I took it out. But it's pretty in a foil. It's a foil white card. It's really awesome looking. So again, if you got some ideas on the deck, because I kind of went through the whole deck there. If you got any ideas on the deck or what's going on here, you said that you didn't want to deal with indestructible. What if that indestructible had hexproof? Then I could still merciless eviction, exile all permanents that does not target. It's not often that I've seen indestructible hexproof before, but then if it's indestructible and hexproof, and it's something like what's that one angel that gives everything indestructible, all your permanents indestructible, it's pretty much game over for everybody anyway, so it doesn't matter. So what I'm doing now is I'm shuffling up and gonna play a couple of sample hands so you can see what the deck is like. And then I'm going to get out of here and have some family time, right? Don't know what I'm gonna do tonight, but it's got to be something fun, right? Because we got to get this vacation finally started. It's 5 days into vacation, and I haven't had too much fun going on. But at least I'm still off for a few days. I mean, this could have been way worse. I could have been dealing with Drew in the hospital and having to go to work at the same time, which is exhausting. So, but I've done it before. Probably won't be the last time. Alright, doing some quick shuffles. Oh, you're gonna miss me run a few hands. But thanks as always for tuning in, Harry. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow night, like I always do online. So we're about ready to run a hand here. And if you notice again, like I said, there's not a lot of blue cards at all in the deck. That's why I have it just as dual land mana. Because Oloro you don't normally cast into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I got plenty of land, which means I can and mana. So, alright. So here we go. Turn 1. Draw. We will play Irrigated Farmland. Always play the lands that tap first. And turn 2, we will play a Port Town and show a Plains and play a Suture Priest. So it begins already. Hurting people. Turn 3, play a Plains and 1, 2, 3. Play a Pristine Talisman. And just tap it to gain a life. Because you gain a life, you don't have mana burn anymore, so it doesn't matter. Turn 4. So I'm already at 49 life, right? On turn 4. Maybe even more. 2, 3, 4, 5. I play a Cloud Blazer and draw 2 cards and gain more life. So again, a weird slow start, right? But that's what this deck does. It's very slow, doesn't do much in the first few turns, and then by the time it does, you can't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 mana, so we'll play a Well of Lost Dreams, a Soul Warden, and tap because I gained a life, so I tap to draw a card from gaining a life. So I've got a lot of card draw going on, right? Core Haven to protect me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll play 3. Oh, I don't have any black, do I? I do not have any black. Wow. That's messed up. Draw. Well, untap, upkeep, gain 2 life. I will tap 2 to draw 2 extra cards and draw another card. Yeah, I'm getting hosed on the land here. Play that. I gained a life, draw another card. Okay, so Well of Lost Dreams is staying in. That's for freaking sure. See, once I get a bunch of mana, it gets dumb because I'm going to cycle this. Draw. So even though I didn't do much that turn, I still drew a bunch of cards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll get rid of a tap land. Now I got all the colors I need. So, do I have 2 black? I should have 2 black. Yeah, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play a Defiant Bloodlord, which gains me a life, so I can tap to draw a card. And then I can tap this, gain a life, and draw a card. So you see how the engine's kind of working as I gain life and draw a card. That Well of Lost Springs is really good. Again, how I was saying that I might take that out earlier. Nope. That is staying in there. But I was already at like 60 something life. Even though I didn't have much going on, it was still going to be the long game where you sit back, watch everybody else fight each other, you gain a bunch of life, and because you've gained so much life, people don't even bother. Because it's too much work to try to keep you at 40 or less. So they start going after each other, and you just start gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining till somebody gets some kind of unlimited combo or infinite combo, and then that's what kills you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's a good hand. So watch this. Turn 1. Play a Plains. I'll play a Soul Ring. Turn 2. I already have 4 mana. 2, 3. Pristine Talisman. Pay 1 for a Soul Warden. That's turn 2. That's a good second turn board. Turn 3. I have turn 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Why not just cycle, right? Cycle and draw. Oh, and that's exactly what I wanted. 3. Boom. Let's see. And I would definitely draw at this point. 2, 4. Put a False Prophet out there just in case. Demonic Tutor. Why not Demonic Tutor for a, we know what we're going for. We're going for Sanguine Bond. So I can play that next turn and stop drawing cards and keep gaining life instead, and be done with this game already. Next turn, draw. I drew a Magister Sphinx, which I really like that puts somebody down to 10 life. 1, 2, 3, 5, Sanguine Bond. Okay. Then next turn, draw. Play another land, right? And then we go, well, no, sorry, I would not have drawn. I would have gained 5 life. Don't draw, gain 5 life. There you go. Next turn. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm missing. I don't remember the deck well enough because I feel like I'm missing something in this combination. Like there's the card draw part of it's missing. So it's like I need those two and one more card, and then it turned into gaining life, draining people. But then because oh, that's what it was. Oloro needs to be out there because here's what happens is whenever I gain life, I pay 1. If I do, I draw a card and each opponent loses a life. Well, instead of drawing that card, I pay 1 to gain 5 life. Because I gained 5 life, I can pay 1 to draw another card. Instead of drawing a card, I gain 5 life. Because I gained 5 life, I can pay 1 to draw another card. So it's like you use all your mana to keep triggering these two together and draining everyone by 1, but I'm gaining like a ton of life. And if Sanguine Bond is out there, it's pretty much I can win the game by not drawing anything, instead gaining 5 life, and kill everybody that way. So that's kind of an interesting run. I feel like I need to play this deck more often. I just haven't played it in so long. It's been like maybe at least 6 months since I have played this deck. 6 months to a year since I have played this deck, but I have not really changed much in it either. So I need to maybe look at some of the new sets and see what's new that's come out. See what I might throw in here. Make it even better, right? So that's all I'm gonna do today. Let me flip back here to bloop. All right. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate anybody that's here or who watched or who decided to follow me this stream. Again, hit that little follow button at the top, the little red heart. I appreciate that. And tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock where I'll be playing some retro games. And tune in next time where the gaming never ends as long as you press continue. See you guys later.